Yes, ma'am.
Ishan, please record.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
what you do know,
Yeah.
you send me one this recording on my personal chat to me. Even though you are adding all the YouTube links to that, no?
Okay, ma'am.
One link you send it on my personal chat. Okay,
Oh,
for my this.
okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So students, we are doing Laplace inverse transform, and you are learning different methods to find out Laplace inverse transform. Now, for example, when I started with Laplace inverse transform, the first and the basic method I discussed is comparison with the basic formulas of Laplace inverse, which you get directly from the Laplace transform formulas. So just it is the reverse process. So it is the direct method. But as I said, in exam, they will not ask you the problem mostly which is directly related to the basic formula, right? So you have to do some adjustment. You have to add, subtract the constants. You have to separate the terms. Okay. Then I told you about the second method I told you is this first shifting property. Suppose some same number is added or subtracted from S, how to use first shifting property to find out Laplace inverse? That is by adjusting the constant and separating the terms, right? Then last time we discussed about the partial fraction methods. There are different rules to write the partial fraction. It is just for splitting of the given function. Once you split the given function with plus minus signs in between, you can easily find Laplace inverse of each term individually. Okay. Now today one more new method I want to tell you. Now this method is called as inverse Laplace transform of derivatives. So you can give the title, students. It is inverse Laplace transform of derivatives. Okay. Now see the formula, students. It is like this. L inverse of f of s is equal to minus 1 by t L inverse of d by ds of f of s. As the reason I am giving you here, as L inverse of d by ds of f of s is equal to minus t L inverse of f of s. That is minus t into f of t. Now see students, in first glance you may not recognize this formula, right? But with which formula of Laplace transform I am comparing this? That, see if anybody can tell me. This is nothing new because we are just modifying the old formula. So can you tell me which formula I'm talking about here of Laplace transform?
Ma'am, can you shift the paper towards the right?
Yes. Is
Right.
it, or should I? No, wait. Your
No, ma'am.
right my means my left. Is it?
Yes, yes.
Now it is thin.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So students, what I'm saying is, do you remember this formula? What is Laplace of t into f of t? When the function is multiplied by t, what is our formula? It is minus d by ds L of f of t, isn't it? I told you this formula, like ignore t, get derivative of Laplace transform of remaining function with minus sign. Remember this formula? It means that it is equal to minus d by ds. What is L of f of t, students? You denote it by f of s, because whenever you are finding Laplace transform of some function, its answer is always in terms of s. So it is a function of s. So exactly same formula we are using. So see what is done, students. I'm taking L inverse on both sides, isn't it? So let us take L inverse on both sides. This is just the explanation about the formula in L inverse. How I have got this formula that I'm explaining, right? So the original formula I'm taking L inverse on both sides. L inverse of L t into f of t. I am taking L inverse of left hand side is equal to minus L inverse of right hand side. Now, as I told you, L inverse gets cancelled because it becomes L raised to 0 and anything raised to 0 is 1. Okay. So, this is t into f of t, isn't it? So, what I do here, students, this term I'll keep here and this minus n I'll transfer to other side. So, it will be L inverse of d by ds f of s is equal to minus t into f of t. Correct? So, the thing which I have written on the bracket is the same thing which comes here. Now see, in our main formula, you want L inverse of capital F of s, right? But what is f of t, students? Your f of t itself is L inverse of f of s. Because L of f of t is f of s. So f of t will be L inverse of f of s. This is just the jumbling of notations. So you need not worry about this. Actually, this thing will not come into the picture when you are solving problems, but this is just something additional explanation I am giving to you so that you will come to know from where we are getting this formula. So this term is kept on one side, students, L inverse of f of s, and this minus t is cross multiplied. So it is minus 1 by t, L inverse of d by ds of f of s. And this is nothing but the formula which is given in the first step. So remember this formula, students. L inverse of f of s is equal to minus 1 by t L inverse of d by ds of f of s. Now there is a speciality of this formula. When to use this formula? Whenever the function contains log, so just write one sentence below this. Use this formula when f of s is in terms of log, then it may be in terms of tan inverse or cot inverse, right? So whenever your function contains this type of terms, then definitely you have to go for the formula. So students, one more thing I want to tell you, when the problem is asked, find L inverse of the following functions, they will not mention the method or the formula which you have to use. So when to use partial fraction method? When the denominator contains more than one factor, right? Then when to use first shifting property? If it is possible to add or subtract the same number from all s which are present in numerator and denominator. Then when to use this formula? Whenever the function contains log, tan inverse, cot inverse type of functions, right? So by practice, you will come to know when to use which formula. Okay, students, once I solve one example, you will understand how to make use of this formula. Have you done this with this? Have you taken down this step? Okay. So I turn the page. Now let us see how we use this formula. Okay. So suppose the question is like this. Find L inverse of log s plus a divided by s plus b. Okay. Now when such type of problem you get in exam, then what you observe? You will observe that there is a log function, right? Now when there is log function, you have to remember this formula, that is the inverse of derivative formula. So let us write the formula first and then see how it works. So what the formula says, students? L inverse of f of s is equal to minus 1 by t L inverse of d by ds of f of s. So remember this formula. Now you need to know how it works for our problem. So now the right hand side of this will be, what is f of s here, students? F of s is nothing but this function, log of s plus a upon s plus b, correct? So right hand side will be what? Nothing I will be doing, I will be just substituting. See, minus 1 by t, which is there in the formula, L inverse, which is there in the formula, d by ds, which is there in the formula, and our f of s in this particular problem I am substituting log of s plus a upon s plus b. So other than substitution of f of s, I have not done anything else. But to do this, you need to by heart this formula, and you need to know, you need to remember when to go for this formula. Any doubt, students, here in this step? You can ask me the doubts, because don't make the habit that after finishing the class or after few days, don't tell me that I have not understood that whole thing or that lecture or 2-3 problems of that, right? If you ask here only which step you want me to repeat, then it will be good for me also and for you also. Make the habit of clearing your doubts there and there itself. Okay. So next step. Now can you guess what will be the next step, students? You need to simplify this bracket first, right? And then whatever you get, you have to find its L inverse. That's all. Now simplify the bracket means, what I mean to say is, before finding the derivative, what is log of m upon n, students? I'll write it here. What is log of m upon n? Isn't it log of m minus log of n? Log of numerator minus log of denominator. So I can easily write this as log of numerator minus log of denominator. Any doubt at this step? Everything else I have kept same. Log of numerator minus log of denominator. Okay. Now, minus 1 by t as it is, L inverse as it is. Now I want to write derivative of first term minus derivative of second term. What is derivative of log x?
1
What is
upon
derivative?
X.
1 upon x. What about diploma students? Do you remember, students? Derivative of log x is 1 upon x.
Yes, miss.
Yes. And for diploma students, I have posted 3 videos on Saturday. Basics of differentiation and integration, very nicely explained. Today evening in my extra class at 6:30, I'm going to give you a small test on 3 videos. Okay. Saturday in the evening I have posted, I think, right? So yesterday whole day was there. Saturday evening full was there, right? To study. Even if you have not studied, these are not very big videos. Today's day is there in between classes. You can just watch, and so that you can answer my test properly. Basics of differentiation and integration. So all these lectures will be easy for you. Okay, it is for your good, I'm telling. Otherwise, you will lag behind in all these things. So derivative of log x is 1 upon x. But in place of x, what you have, students? 1 upon s plus a. Similarly, derivative of this log will be 1 upon s plus b. Okay. Now, before proceeding, I want to tell you, some students get confused with the formulas. Okay. How? Suppose you have a function log x. Its derivative, you told me it is coming 1 by x. Suppose you have derivative of log of a plus bx. Okay. What will be derivative of log a plus bx? It will be 1 upon a plus bx into derivative of the bracket. So you have to go from outer function to inner function, correct? So derivative of the bracket, derivative of a is 0 because it is independent constant, and derivative of bx is what? B. So it is b upon a plus bx. Understood? So 1 upon the bracket into derivative of the bracket. Here what happens? We write 1 upon x. But what is derivative of x? It is 1. So we don't write into 1. That's why it is directly 1 upon x. So always you have to go from outer function to inner function. Okay. So this is our derivative part. So see carefully how I have done it. First I wrote the formula. I replaced f of s by our function. Then because it is log of m upon n, I have written it as log of numerator minus log of denominator. Then I found the derivative of both the terms separately. And now it's time to find L inverse. Okay. So it will be minus 1 by t. What is L inverse of 1 upon s plus a?
E raised to minus 80.
E raised to minus at. And L inverse of 1 upon s plus b is e raised to minus bt. Is it? And that's all. That is your answer. Nothing else is to be done. This minus 1 by t will remain in the answer, which is outside. Okay. So whenever you observe the log function, always remember this formula to use. Any doubt, students, in any step which are not followed? Nilay, any doubt? Now let us do the next problem. Find L inverse of 1 plus 1 upon s, log of find L inverse of log of 1 plus 1 upon s. So look at the function log, write the formula and proceed. Okay, so all will be trying. I'm giving you some 2 minutes. All have to try. Just follow the previous example and hopefully everybody is sitting with notebook and pen. Sujit, are you there, Sujit? What about Utkarsh? Is Utkarsh there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So are you sitting with pen and paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you? Okay. Because I observed you are absent for most of the classes. Hmm? Getting, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll just substitute f of s in the formula. It will be L inverse of right hand side I'm writing. L inverse 1 upon t, no? It is 1 upon t L inverse of d by ds of f of s. Our f of s is what? Log of 1 plus 1 upon s. Correct? Then like previous problem, I'm going to keep everything else, and then what I'm going to do is this log of 1 plus 1 upon s can be written as s plus 1 upon s, no? I'm just cross multiplying, students. S plus 1 upon s. Okay? So that we can separate the terms. Log of s plus 1 minus log of s. Correct? If you don't want to do this, then what is the another way to do? Suppose you want to keep this as it is. If you don't want to cross multiply, then can you differentiate? Differentiate it directly? Yes, it will be 1 upon this whole bracket into derivative of the bracket. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So there are two ways. Whichever method you feel suitable at that time, you can go for that. Okay. So it will be minus 1 by t L inverse of d by ds log of numerator minus log of denominator. Exactly same thing I'm doing, students, which I did in the previous problem. And this is minus 1 by t L inverse of derivative of log is 1 upon s plus 1, and this is 1 upon s. Okay. And then as usual, L inverse of first term is what? Akash, wait. I'll ask somebody. Anirudh. Anirudh, can you tell me what is L inverse of 1 upon s plus 1? What is L inverse of 1 upon s plus 1, Anirudh? Just look at the formula. What is L inverse of 1 upon s plus a?
Are you asking me?
Anirudh, yes. Anirudh.
Okay, wait a minute.
Are you telling, Anirudh?
E raised to minus 80.
Means e raised to t here, no? Minus t. Because a is 1, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Then, who can tell me? Azan, can you tell me what is L inverse of 1 upon s? What is L inverse of 1 upon s? Azan, can you hear me? Azan, can you hear me? Okay, who will tell?
E raised to 0.
Hmm?
E raised to 0.
Means what?
1.
1. Anything raised to 0 is 1, right? So it is e raised to minus t minus 1. Done.
Sorry, Miss, I got disconnected.
Okay, no problem. So if you want to get rid of this minus sign, students, one more step you can do. It is not compulsory step. Remove this minus sign means actually we are multiplying the bracket by minus 1. So minus minus plus, and minus into plus is minus. Okay. So you get this. Is that clear? Now let us solve one example with some tan inverse. Find L inverse of tan inverse 2 by s square. So you have to follow the same formula, students. Only your f of s will be in terms of tan inverse, not in terms of log. Okay, try. So these are the problem, students, which come in exam for four marks each. So what happens here? Minus 1 by t, L inverse of d by ds, tan inverse of 2 by s square. So nothing I did. I just replace f of s by tan inverse of 2 by s. Now see, I have posted this, not me, some student have posted, I think Nigel posted the formulas on Google Classroom, and same I have shared with Diploma Classroom also. So who can tell me what is tan inverse of x? Derivative of tan inverse of x. Do you remember, students, what is derivative of tan inverse of x?
1 upon 1 plus x square.
1 upon 1 plus x square. Very good. Okay. And that's why you need to revise the basic formulas. Okay. Derivative of tan inverse of x is 1 upon 1 plus x square. Now see, students, in place of x, something else is there. Then it will be that something else square and into derivative of this bracket. In this case, derivative of x is 1, so we don't show multiplication by 1. But you have to remember that in place of x, something else is there. Don't forget to multiply it by derivative of that. So as I said, you have to always go from outermost function to innermost function. So it is minus 1 by t, L inverse. Now this whole term is your x, students. Correct? Whole term is what? 2 by s square is your x. Tan inverse of x. tan inverse of something, and that something is your x. So let us substitute, students. It is 1 upon 1 plus x square. X square means what? 4 by s raised to 4. 2 by s square the whole square. 2 square is 4 and s square the whole square is s raised to 4. Done. Into what? Derivative of this bracket, 2 by s square. Correct? Derivative of 2 by s square. So as you are familiar with u by v formula, you can go for that, which we are using often. Denominator, derivative of numerator minus numerator, derivative of denominator upon denominator square. Correct? Or you can take s square on top, make it as s raised to minus 2 and get the derivative, no problem. Okay? So denominator into derivative of numerator. Derivative of numerator is 0 minus numerator, derivative of s square is 2s, and whole thing divided by denominator square. Denominator square means what, students? It is s square the whole square, that is s raised to 4. So I'm talking about the new students. If you have really studied the 3 videos which I've sent, then there will not be any problem in understanding this step. And that's why I want you to study those 3 videos, please. So whenever you have time today, if you're not done, please study those videos, and what are problems they're solving, what are examples they're showing, see that you are solving simultaneously on your notebook. So you will not face, I guarantee you that you will not face any problem in such middle steps. Otherwise, you will get confused because you are not in touch with all these topics from long time. So naturally, you will get confused. So you have to work a little more on that. Okay, students? So it is 1 upon 1 plus x square means 1 upon 1 plus this bracket square into derivative of the bracket. Denominator derivative of 2 is 0 minus numerator into derivative of denominator by denominator square. Then complete the bracket. So minus 1 by t. Then this is, let me cross multiply here, students, in the denominator. S raised to 4 plus 4 divided by s raised to 4. Now what is this? 2 2s are 4, right? So minus 4. S by s raised to 4 is what? S cube. One s will get cancelled. Okay. Now see, students, this term is in the denominator, right? So if you know this formula, 1 upon a upon b can be written as b upon a. So if you take this term to numerator, it becomes its reciprocal. So it is minus 1 by t. This, it will be s raised to 4 upon s raised to 4 plus 4. This minus 4 I can take out, right? And minus minus I can make plus, right? Follow what I did? Minus into minus is 4 plus, and this constant can be taken out into 1 upon s cube. Okay. So if you observe, nothing I am doing other than simplification. Only first step is something new for you because it is a new formula. Once I substitute for f of s, further things are just differentiation, cross multiplication, simplification. Okay. So now see what you get. S cube will get cancelled. So it is 1 upon t. L inverse is there. Don't forget this L inverse to write. So 4 upon t as it is I am writing here. Okay. And then it will be L inverse of s upon s raised to 4 plus 4. Because this s cube will get cancelled, no? So you will get here only one s. S raised to 4 is what? S cube into s, no? So s cube will go and one s will remain. Okay, students, till here any doubt you can ask me. Sometimes it may happen that at some step you may get confused. You can ask me. Otherwise, when I send you the pics or when you sit it with again, your understanding will be more. But you have to work on it. You cannot just say that I have attended the class means it is done. After few days, suppose I ask you the question on based on these things, then you should be able to answer. Okay. Now, next step is to find L inverse of this. You don't have direct formula for this because denominator is s raised to 4. If it was s square, then you have cos formula, right? But this is s raised to 4. So see the difference, students. In hurry, don't write the formula. It is not direct. So see what I do, students. It is 4 by t, L inverse of. I need to write the factors for s raised to 4 plus 4. And to write the factors, I need to tell you that suppose you have the term s raised to 4 plus, you can say a square, s raised to 4 plus a square. Okay. Then you can write this formula as s square plus 2s plus a into s square minus 2s plus a. It is multiplication. See how both brackets are equal. Only thing is this is second term is positive here and here second term is negative. So if you multiply these two brackets, you can verify what you get. Let us multiply in rough. Okay. Just to confirm the formula. Okay. First term into first term. So term by term I am multiplying s raised to 4 minus 2s cube plus a s square. Right. Then second term multiplication plus 2s cube. Then minus 2 to the 4s square plus 2as. And third term multiplication as square minus 2as and plus a square. So see what is happening, students, here. Minus 2s cube plus 2s cube will go. Then plus 2as minus 2as will go. Okay. And what is this sign? When I multiply by a to this, it is minus 2as. This is plus as square. And this is what? The last term plus a square only, right? So what is this you are getting here? Just check the multiplication. S raised to 4 minus 2s cube plus a square, right? Then 2s cube minus 4s square plus 2as plus a square minus 2as plus a square. So what are the terms remaining here? The terms remaining are s raised to 4 plus a raised to 4, and these two terms are also remaining, no? S raised to 4 plus a raised to 4, because you have to get rid of these two terms also. Correct? So how to get rid of these two terms? What can be the changes in this? What will be the factors? Yes, you can hear me, right? What I'm doing, are you understanding, students? I'm trying to get some factors for this term s raised to 4 plus a square. Okay, so that I can use partial fractions in the next step and get the L inverse, right? So see if you can work it out. If you can also think what will be the factors for this.
Ma'am, can you move the page towards your left?
Yes.
Yeah.
So just think what will be the factors, and once you get the factors, then it will be easier for partial fractions.
Then it's going to become a square plus b the whole square.
this will become s raised to 4 plus 2a s square, no? Plus a square. So you are saying that it will be s square plus a the whole square, correct? Yes, but we don't want that, no? We don't want this middle term. Correct, no? You need not get the middle term. So any other suggestions for the factors? All are trying, right? Because see, such situations will come in exam where you have to really think, because sometimes you cannot by heart everything and go for exam. On the spot, you need to know what exactly you want.
Ma'am, can we equate s raised to 4 plus 4 equal to 0 and then find the values?
Means find the factors. We want factors here.
Okay, ma'am.
But to find out the factors, it will not be wrong if we equate it to 0 and get the factors, because for quadratic equations and all we do the same thing, right? The problem is the plus sign here. If it was minus, then we would have got it easily. A square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b, right? We will get the factors directly, but there will be imaginary terms in this. Can anyone Google formula for s square? Formula for s raised to 4 plus a square.
Ma'am, when we find it by polynomial part, we get 1 plus I, 1 minus I, minus 1 plus I, and minus 1 minus I.
Yes, that's what I said. Imaginary terms you get here. So I don't know whether it is some mistake in the problem itself. Without imaginary terms, we cannot write the factors for this. Otherwise, what you can do is, I'll tell you. This you got, right? S square plus s square plus a the whole square you got, no? So which is the extra term here? 2a square. So can't we do like this? S square plus a the whole square, and the extra term can't we minus? Whether it can be done? Yes. Now in place of a we have 2, no? So it will look like this. 4 by t L inverse of s upon s square plus 2 the whole square minus 2 to the 4, 4s square. See what I have done? The term which is unwanted, we are subtracting, because finally we want only s raised to 4 plus a square, no?
Miss, but how the sign came? Minus sign.
Huh?
Minus sign.
Because we are subtracting, Nire.
Miss, we can
See.
subtract.
Yeah, because see, whenever I'm finding s square plus a square the whole square, I'm getting this. S raised to 4 plus 2a square plus a square. But which is unwanted term here for this substitution? It is this unwanted term, no?
Yes, miss.
So that unwanted term only I am subtracting so that it will remain s raised to 4 plus 4. I am not adding and subtracting. That extra term is already there. For example, see, if I have, I want suppose a square plus b square. Okay. And what is a plus b the whole square? Tell me. It is a square plus b square plus 2ab, correct? This you know already. Yes or no?
Yes, miss.
Now suppose I want substitution for only a square plus b square. Can't I write it as a plus b the whole square minus 2ab? Means what? I'm cutting this minus 2ab because I'm taking this 2ab to other side. So from this equation, a square plus b square is equal to a plus b the whole square minus 2ab. This is only I'm shifting to other side. So here also I'll explain you if you are getting confused. See what we got here. S square plus a plus a the whole square we got, right? What it is? You can see all of you, right? A plus b the whole square is what? A square plus b square. B square means a square here. Plus 2ab means 2a s square. This you know, correct? Now for what you want substitution? You want substitution for this, correct? So I'll keep this on one side, s raised to 4 plus a square, and this term I'll transfer to other side, that is s square plus a minus 2a square. So why, from where I'm getting minus sign, you understood? So same thing I'm writing here. Huh?
Ma'am,
Huh.
ma'am, without expanding s raised to 4 plus 4, we can directly solve the equation as s raised to 4 and uh, add and subtract 4 s square.
Add and subtract 4 square. Yeah, that's what. Without
Yeah.
expanding also you can do it.
Yeah, then
But
when we simplify it, we get s raised to s square plus 2 the whole square minus 2x the whole square.
yes, correct. The same thing here you are getting. See, but why you are adding and subtracting 4s square? That reasoning you have to give, no? Why you are adding and subtracting that? Because to complete the square.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. So you are getting it as s upon. So this is a square minus b square type, right? A square minus b square is what? A plus b into a minus b, where our b is 2s. So instead of telling you to directly remember this formula, because for another problems you can directly by heart this formula for the substitution, but I was trying to tell you from where I'm getting this substitution. Okay, so if there is a case of s square plus a square, then remember it as s square plus a plus 2s, s square plus a minus as. In place of 2 you have a in general. Okay.
Ma'am, now it can't be find it by partial fraction.
Yes, correct. And after this you are going for partial fractions. And for that only we wanted the factors. Because if you keep this as it is, it will be difficult to find L inverse, no? Now tell me how you'll go for partial fractions. Now see, students, sit with this again, the substitution part. Now let us write the partial fractions. So how it will be? Now what we'll do is, let us take this outside, s upon s square plus 2 plus 2s, s square plus 2 minus 2s. And now both are quadratic factors, no? Both are quadratic factors. So how will be the partial fractions? As plus b divided by first quadratic factor and cs plus d upon the second quadratic factor. So as I explained how to go about partial fractions, whenever it is quadratic, the numerator will be linear term. So as plus b and cs plus d, this is s, okay, cs plus d. Understanding, no, students? Then you will be cross multiplying. So here s will remain and on this side as plus b, s square plus 2 minus 2s plus cs plus d, s square plus 2 plus 2s, and denominators are getting cancelled. That step I am skipping. Okay. Now you need to get values of a, b, c and d. So any direct substitution will help you. Otherwise, as I told you, the general method, just open the right hand side, collect terms in s cube, s and all, equate the coefficients and get the answer. Okay, that is the general method. If you put s is equal to 0 first, then see what happens. Both sides you have to put 0. So this term will be 0. B, and this will be 2 remaining, right? Because 0 minus 0. Plus C term will be 0 and this will be 2D. This implies B plus D is equal to 0, right? After cancelling 2. So you are getting B is equal to minus D, but you are not getting value of either B or D. Only this you are getting, right? So let us open the right hand side and equate the coefficients. That is best way. So what I am saying, open means multiply. It will be as cube plus 2as minus 2as square, correct, plus bs square plus 2b minus 2bs. So depending upon your luck, the problem will come in exam. Sometimes some problems will be little bit lengthy to solve, but with patience, if you solve, then definitely you get the correct answer. Now let us multiply the last two brackets. That is cs cube plus 2cs plus 2cs square. Tell me if I am going wrong somewhere in multiplication and all. Cs cube plus 2cs plus 2c s square. Then multiply by d. D square plus 2d plus 2ds or 2ds sd. So this is the task of opening the brackets. Now let me circle the terms in s cube first. Highest term, highest power term, and then it will be what? S cube is common, so a plus c s cube. Done. Now let me underline s square terms which I want to collect now. This one and this one. There are 4 terms in s square. So I want to take s square common. So what is remaining from this term? Minus 2a. Then from this term b, correct? From this term 2c and from this term d, and s square is taken out. Then I'll just tick mark the terms in s, right? Tick mark the terms in s which I want to collect. Again there are 4 terms in s also. So when I take s out, what is remaining from this? 2a. What is remaining from this term is 2b. Here 2c and last term 2d. And this is s common, right? And then remaining all will be the constant terms which are not coefficients of s. So which are those here? I'm just put the square here, 2b without s, so it is constant. Then any other term? Yes, 2d. So it is 2b plus 2d. These are called as constants. Why? Because they are without s. They are not coefficients of s. So other than collecting the terms in s cube, s square, s, I have not done anything else, right? At the same time, you have to look at the left hand side. Left hand side is only s, no? So there is no term in s cube, means how you write s cube term? 0 s cube. There is no term in s square, so 0 s square. There is term in s and there is no term in constant, means constant term will be 0. So in the descending powers of s, I am rewriting s. 0 s cube plus 0 s square plus s plus 0. It is s itself, but just for comparison of both sides, we are doing this. Are you understanding, students? Any doubt? No response from your side, please.
No, understanding, ma'am.
Okay. And now we will equate both sides coefficients. Equating coefficients on both sides. Means what, students? Coefficient of S cube on left hand side is A plus C. On right hand side is A plus C. What is coefficient of S cube on left hand side? 0. Correct? Then coefficient of S square on the right hand side is this. And what is coefficient of S square on left hand side? 0. I am getting set of equations in terms of ABCD, which I need to solve and get values of ABCD. Then coefficient of S on right hand side is what? 2A minus 2B plus 2C plus 2D. And what is coefficient of S on left hand side, students? It is 1, not 0. Don't write 0. And the last equation is constant on the right hand side is this, and constant on the left hand side is 0. Okay. This means that 2 can get cancelled. So you are getting B plus D is equal to 0. So isn't it the same thing which we got above when we put S is equal to 0. So B is equal to minus D. Okay. And now see how you are going to go about these equations. Now I'll just give you the hint. Okay. Now see what you do is you can add these two equations, students, second and third. When you add these two equations, the term in A will get cancelled and you will get the equation in terms of B, C and D, right? But B is equal to minus D. So what you have to try is you have to try to get two equations with two unknowns. Like either two equations in terms of B and D or two equations in terms of A and C. And slowly you will get the constants, values of the constants one by one. Okay, you try this at home and tell me what you get next time. Okay, and once you get
Ma'am,
yes.
Ma'am, instead of this, can't we just like in the previous step, can't we multiply S in the numerator and the denominator on top the step after minus 1 upon no, much before minus 1 upon T L inverse of minus 4S, I think, upon S raised to 4 plus 4. Yeah, that one. Can't we just multiply? Yeah, can't we just multiply S in the numerator and denominator?
Okay, so what will happen? It will be S cube upon S raised to 5 plus 4S, is it?
Yes. Then can't you use partial fractions?
Yes, but what will be the benefit? See, you are saying like this, no? What we have is L inverse of S upon S raised to 4 plus 4. This step only you are talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so for this step, you want to multiply numerator by S and denominator by S, correct? So you
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
multiply or you want to keep it separate?
Keep it separate.
S raised to 4 plus 4. Okay, then
Then use partial fractions.
but still you will get this term, no?
Can't you like somehow find the values of A and B? Like if you put S is equal to 1 or S is
Now
equal to 0.
see, as you are saying, no, how it will be with partial fractions. See, S square upon S into S raised to 4 plus 4 will be equal to, now this S is linear, right? So I'll write A upon S. Now this is raised to 4, so my numerator should be cubic, right? So it will be BS cube plus CS square plus D. Am I correct? This only you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then S square will be equal to cross multiplication. A into S raised to 4 plus 4 plus cross multiplication of this. So it is B S raised to 4 plus CS cube plus DS. Correct, no?
Yes,
And then
ma'am.
get values of ABCD. Is
Yes.
it becoming easier? Is it becoming easier? If yes,
I'll
then
try, ma'am.
this is not wrong. Yeah. So
Okay.
if you feel that this will be less lengthier, then you can go ahead because what you have said is correct. Multiply and divide by
Okay.
s. Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying that it is wrong, but see the length of solution. Okay.
Okay.
And if you are getting the answer within less steps, you can go ahead with this.
Okay, ma'am.
Otherwise, you have to solve these equations. Okay, so try this, students. Like challenge you have to take when some problems are given to you. You have to really, because see, otherwise you'll go on ignoring the things and you'll say, ma'am, I said whether she's going to correct my answer or whether she's going to ask me the answer. So don't be with that mindset. So you have to show your contribution, students, because this is maths class, right? So there should be interaction. Like how this was Riva, right? Who
Yes,
was
ma'am.
talking this? Yeah, so Riva last time also she gave one alternative for the solution, which was very good. Today also she's telling some. So I want a response from everybody of you. You have to also think out of box something. If we do like this, then what will happen? Whether this is correct, whether we'll get the answer within less steps. So something like that. Okay. So today is what is the date today, Rem?
Ma'am,
19th, right? No? Yes.
should we get individual values for A, B, and C and D?
Should we get what?
Like one values for A, B, C, and D.
Yes. Otherwise, how it will be?
Ma'am, I solved the equation by simultaneous because there are 4 equations.
Yes, yes.
So I'm getting the answer as infinite solution
Hmm.
using calculator.
Okay. No. You have to get values of A, B, C, D.
Okay, ma'am.
Infinite solution, answer is coming infinite solution.
Yes, ma'am.
No, but at least one solution of that infinite solution you should know, no? Because when it
Okay,
is
ma'am.
infinite solution, when it is coefficient of k into something, like we have seen in matrices, right? You are a regular student, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we have seen in matrices how we solve the equations, right? When you get infinite solutions, when you get the solution with coefficient k. So as you go on changing value of k, right? The number of solutions become infinite. But we always take the basic solution, like how you write eigenvectors and all.
Okay, ma'am.
Ah. So even though it has infinite solution, you should know what is the basic solution for that. Okay. Yeah, very good. You're trying. Matrix method, if you can, in place of ABCD, you take X, Y, Z, W. Is it possible? Just try with the different methods and see what you get. Otherwise, next time we'll do. Okay, so please give me an attendance, students.